Greetings, good day, and why am I looking into the microphone? Hello. Today is the 12th of March, 2019. How's it going? Thanks for... Why are you listening? Why? Why do you keep coming? Why? Why do you listen to me? Oh, it's a little dark. It's a little dark. Hey, that helped. Airsoft tournaments. Let's rant. Shall we? Should I just keep doing videos where I do this over? I heard from all the little cool kids that this is how I'm supposed to get all of the views. I don't know. Whatever. I'm old. I don't get these things. So, before we get into kind of the details of Airsoft tournaments and such, let me build for you my basis of a competitive background. Meaning kind of where I get all my ideas and stuff. For my competitive experience in everything, I did... like local level USPSA pistol and multi-gun tournaments. Local level, nothing crazy. I did IDPA, single pistol, and multi-gun for IDPA as well. I competed in the California State National Guard Shooting Championships. I actually took 4th place in PPC pistol with that. And that was multi-gun and PPC also. So that was action, so like shooting and moving, and like target shooting competitions as well. In the shooting competition, still, I did the police and fire games. The world, was it world? U.S. police and fire games. That was in, they do those in San Diego. I did action and PPC and that also. I did a lot of PPC stuff because of, qualifying and having fun, and it's just a different world. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I also did Highland games, so competitive Highland games. Like, I don't like competitive, like, I did them. But there's rules to that, so you can't just like go in there and do whatever you want. And I did grappling. I guess I still do competitive grappling as a white belt with like 2 years in. But I haven't competed in that in a while. Keep in mind, in addition to that, I was in the Army for about 12 total years, and I was a police officer for 8 years, which means all of that, all those things, that resume, lets you know that I am a fanatic, a stickler when it comes to specific verbiage, to a very specific set of rules, and those rules must be adhered to, and so on and so. I'm a rule nut. Actually, I earned the nickname Rule Bot when I was in Gitmo, because, gotta follow the rules, so Rule Bot. So, when we are talking about, so there's competitive airsoft, so there's tournaments, there's Speed QB, MLA. I think technically, can we call Jungle Ball competitive yet? I don't think they're doing that yet. I think they actually don't want to do that. Anyway, so there are tournament formats of airsoft, and then there's casual play, and there is a difference in those two. How can I word this without sounding weird? I don't want to edit, so if I'm doing this for like 30 seconds on end, you can just kind of fast forward down there when I start talking and move my yapper again. With competitive airsoft, let's start this way. If you, the player, or the person who is interested in competing, the competitive airsofter, see some sort of advertisement for a tournament, the first thing you need to know is what are the rules? What's the format? What's allowed? What's not? Right off the bat, you need to know what's the format. So is it like a death match, like a player elimination? Is it objective based, kind of like Speed QB? Is it like the MLA format where it's kind of a little bit of both? Like what is the objective? Not only the objective, within that objective, so within that format, you need to look for the rules, because in a competition. In any competition, there has to be rules. Otherwise, it's just casual play. In any competition, football, baseball, look, there's rules for t-ball, kickball. There's rules for every game there is to regulate it so that it's structured. And rules. So, those are the main things that you need to look for when you're thinking about competing, or when you've decided to compete and now you're just looking for a tournament. I would say that if if a venue, if a field, or if a format like a promoter has not released the rules, do not sign up. Because that tells me, the person with a background in competing in things, that they don't know what they're doing. If you don't release the rules, you're telling your competitors that you don't know what you're doing. Otherwise, here's the other thing. Oh, we'll tell you the rules when you show up. What? Where in sports does that happen? Where? Where do you learn the rules when you show up to compete? What kind of madness is that? That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous thing to tell people. Oh, you'll get a rules briefing when you show up the day of the competition. Oh, so you haven't figured the rules out. Because if you figure out all the rules and release them ahead of time, you've planned the event. You've anticipated things. You're ready to go. You can have that tournament on a moment's notice. And it's the venue, either the promoter or the field. Because keep in mind, there's things like Speech UB, which is more of like a promoter kind of like a format. So it's not just limited to a field. MLA is the same way. So it's a rule set that he goes and takes to fields. And then you have tournaments which are, I guess you could kind of say they're in-house. The Oregon tournament was an example of in-house. My field, Airsoft Ministry, does in-house tournaments. So CQB City will be doing an in-house tournament, things like that. So there's that. That's why they're rants. It's not going to be... Look, this is not going to be structured. If you wanted structure, you should have gone somewhere else, all right? Anyway, so we have that. We have the rules. We have the format, et cetera, et cetera. The price doesn't usually... I'm never a big fan of, I don't care about the price. If I'm gonna compete, I'm gonna compete. I used to have to pay... I've paid hundreds of dollars to compete before. You're looking at travel. You're looking at, I paid $40 for a local level grappling tournament. I've paid $100. I've paid $100 to lose one match. And that was it. Single elimination tournament. I paid $100. So there's the cost aspect. That's the other reason, is if you're going to travel to compete, if I'm putting on a tournament, right? So I'm putting on a tournament in Roseville. If I want people from the Bay Area or even as far as SoCal to come down, what I need to do in order to market and sell that tournament to convince you, the interested party or the potential competitor, what I need to do to attract you is let you know everything ahead of time, so you know that you're not wasting your money. Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing if we're not doing this? So, and then you have to read the rules. If a promoter, I'm just say a promoter because I'm a fight fan. If the person putting together the tournament is intelligent, that they have not only constructed the rule set, but they've anticipated any possible way to exploit a rule, or most of them. Look, even now and then a kid will ask me a specific question like, dude, I didn't think of that. But a promoter's job when they create a tournament is to look at their rule set and go, okay, if I wanted to troll this tournament, what rule could I use to troll it? How do I do that? Sabotage your own rules. If you're putting a tournament together, you need to sabotage your own tournament. That way, once you can do it in your head, theoretically, no player can do it on the field. Because that's otherwise, what are we doing? You also, as the promoter, you need to be able to explain in depth and in detail what those rules are. Example, pardon me. I had a soda pop, so I'm kind of burpy right now. I was at a tournament, and a player had asked the person giving the briefing, I don't know if he was the head ref or a field ref or just the person giving the rules brief. A player had asked that person about subs. This particular tournament was 3 rounds, so 3 rounds was considered 1 match. Does that make sense? 3 rounds, 1 match. So with subs, and he said, and subs are allowed. Period. End of statement. Move on. A player raised their hand, said, "Excuse me, can we sub players out per round or per match?" And the guy giving the briefing didn't know. In fact, he responded with, "Wait, what? You're the guy giving the rules brief. And you were just asked a question, a very simple question, a question that many formats have already addressed several times, but you didn't do your homework, and now you look dumb. And now your tournament looks dumb. Because a child just thought of something that an adult didn't. That you should have. What? What? I would have left. I was not there to compete. I was there just as a spectator, just to kind of sort of check things out. If I was competing, I'd have been like, you know what? This guy couldn't answer a simple question, and I feel like that what I just saw is going to cost my team a victory. Because what you just said, what you just let everyone know, is that I, the official, the official body, the governing body, I did not have an immediate answer. What? There goes the faith. There goes any faith or trust that I had in you to put on a quality product. It's gone. And that, for me at least, keep in mind, when I was, anytime I've competed in anything, it's serious. So we'll segue into this. Anytime let's say most of the time, because this is a commonly used phrase, and anytime you say, hey guys, remember that we're here to have fun. No, we're not here to have fun. We're here to compete. We're here to win. The purpose of a competition is for one individual or group of individuals to put their skill set that they have been crafting against another group of individuals or against an individual, is to compete. The purpose of competition is to find out who's better. It's to win. Purpose of competition isn't to have fun. Now, you can have fun in competition. Yeah, of course. That's of course a thing you can do. But if we're just there to have fun, why isn't it just a regular play day? Why isn't it just Airsoft? Why did you make it a competition? Does that make sense? Am I getting through to you guys? So it's semantical. It's very slight. But for me, someone who is very competitive when they're competing, someone who plays to win, it's everything. You're there to compete. You're there to win. If you're not there to win, you need to leave. Here's what also happens in competitions. A group of casual players will compete against a serious group, against a group of competitors. And they'll end up, there's an argument. In whatever aspect, there's some sort of argument. But the problem with is that casual group of players is just that. You can be a casual player who enters into a competition that does not make you competitive. Does that make sense? A competitive player plays to win. That's it. That's it. You look at the highest level of athletics. You look at some of the greatest athletes of all time. Listen to Tom Brady talk about what he does. Listen to him talk about how he trains. The best athletes in the world have sacrificed everything personally. They sacrifice birthdays, they sacrifice family events, they sacrifice a social life just to achieve that status of greatness in whatever they're doing. Could be football, could be airsoft, could be competitive crochet. I don't know, I don't care. Competition is intended to let you know how good you are when compared against other individuals. Anything else is just casual play. That's it. So what I try to do is be very specific. Is I try to go through every rule that I can think of. So I'll create a rough draft, look at it, try and troll the rules, and refine it, retweak it. Take a simple team deathmatch format, right? Everyone knows what the basic team deathmatch format is, right? It's your guys versus my guys. It's your 5 versus my 5, or your 3 versus my 3, or whatever. And we have to shoot each other, and then whoever's left standing at the end wins, kind of a thing. We back on? Okay. Sometimes my laptop goes to sleep, so bear with me. So that's the basic casual play of team deathmatch. Now, a team deathmatch tournament needs to be written very differently, right? Otherwise, what are we doing? Because it's competition. You have to create a structure. You cannot let players go outside that structure, because if they do, then you've spoiled competition, and there's no true way to find out whose skill and technique is better than the other person's, because there is a discrepancy within the competition. You've followed your own experiment. There's no way to get true data. So there's that. If you get a chance, wherever you are, if you're in whatever country, do me a favor. Do a Facebook search for Airsoft Ministry. Go to our Facebook page. Go to our events and look at our tournaments and how we write our rules. I write the rules. I take those rules to heart. I take it very seriously, because I know that there's competitive players out there that want that. Now, do I also appeal to casual players? Well, of course. Of course. Look, listen to any rant that I have, and I will almost always tell you in almost every video that the casual player is the foundation of Airsoft. It's how fields are able to sustain themselves. But there is a niche market of competitive players, of competitive Airsoft. And I personally, my goal is to let those players know that I take what you want seriously, and that I'm going to try and deliver the greatest product to you. I try and explain everything from not only the date, time, blah, 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 price, blah, 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 blah. Prizes, how prizes work, how registration works, how the team works, most importantly, how your gear works, specific ways you can have gear, authorized and unauthorized pieces of gear, equipment, blah, 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 structures of gear and stuff. And then the format, how you start, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Pardon me. What constitutes the beginning, the middle, and the end? In most formats, you have what they call the break. The break kind of comes from speedball, from paintball. Okay, well, what is the break? Oh, you start over there. What do you mean? What does you start over there mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What is your definition, your specific, unique definition of you start over there? Oh, you have to have one hand or one foot in constant contact with the spawn point, with the wall, and your muzzle must be pointed in the direction of that wall. Oh, okay, well that makes more sense. That's specific. It's very specific. That's what I try. I try and have specificity in all rules that I create. It's getting kind of dark and cool. You like how I'm doing like a two-face kind of... What do you think about... Let's pause. No one's told me if they like seeing my bald head yet, or if I should just put my beanie on. Like, what do I do? What do I have this glare going on, so I'm just going to keep rocking it. Anywho, that's all I can see. That's all I can really think of. Let's sum this up. If you're competing, or if you want to compete, if you have a desire to compete, and you see a tournament you want to sign up for, and that tournament, or the venue, or the promoter hasn't released the rules, you're going to have problems. Now, it is common, let me caveat this by saying there are some formats that as soon as you sign up, they will release the rules. I believe MLA did this. So they have like the basic rule, or like the basic format, and after you register, they email you like the specific like like A subparagraph B section 2 kind of a thing. I believe, I could be entirely wrong, but I want to say that's an accurate statement. That's fine, as long as, let me put it this way, you need to step onto that, you need to come to that venue knowing all the answers. Does that make sense? Otherwise, here's the other important reason. You cannot formulate a strategy to win without 100%, 100% full knowledge and understanding of a rule set. You cannot strategize. You can't. If you don't understand the rules, how do you plan to win? Are you going to go out there and wing it? You can do that. It's not a key to victory. You need to strategize. You need to create plans. Look at fighters. Look at football players. Look at every level of sports. They don't just show up and go, we're playing football. No. They watch tape on their opponents. They look at plays. They go over drills. They drill. And then on game day, they go, here's the specific plan to how we're going to specifically defeat this specific team. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense or not. Is this still a popular thing that I can do? So, let's sum up the sum up. You want to compete? Great. God bless you. If you have questions about it, ask me. Comments, DMs, or, AM, PM, DM, CMs, whatever. Whatever you crazy kids are sliding into these days. So, you want to compete? Great. You need to know what the rules are. That's the biggest thing is what are the rules and how well are those rules explained. Another important aspect. You need to ask the head of the tournament for questions. Do not go to a side ref with a question. You need to go to the top of the mountain, the very top. So usually it's refs. So sometimes some refs will act as like a council and they'll all come together and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Most of the time it will be all the refs and then a head ref or like a match director. And that is the dude or chick that says yes or no to a ref's decision. You always need to be going to that person with questions. Do not waste your time with a field ref, because if the ref is wrong and gives you wrong information, and then the match director says, no, the ref told you wrong. What? Wait, what? How can a ref, the person I trust to be completely transparent and intelligent to the rules, how can they be wrong? They have one job. So you always go to the head governing body of that tournament, which is usually a match director or a head ref of some kind. The term may change, but you understand what I'm saying. And hopefully you understand why that's important. What's the appeals process? That's another issue. Let's say you go up to a ref and say, hey, is this legal? And the ref says, yes, that is legal. And based on that answer, your team creates a plan of victory, executes that plan, and wins. And two other refs say, no, DQ. That's an illegal technique. That technique doesn't count. It's invalid. It's illegal, whatever. You guys are disqualified when you lose the match automatically. Wait a minute. That ref, the guy right there, that dork, said that plan was okay to do. Okay, so what's the appeals process? What's the grievance process I would have to go through? Well, what do you mean? I mean, that guy said I could do it. Those two guys DQ'd me for it. What are we? Does that mean we restart the match? Can we talk about this, understand it, stream all the way around, full spectrum understanding, and restart the match? Because we have no way to know who truly won that round because the ref screwed it up. So you should always go to the highest level of officiating of that tournament. I think that's it. Think that's about it. Okay, I'm done with you. Bye.